Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 975. There's an old sort of home truth that's been knocking around since, the early days of gaming, and that's horsepower, or graphics, or potential of a system does not necessarily make for the best version of a game. And by that I mean, you can have all the power in the world, but it doesn't guarantee that the game is going to be any cop. Now the reason I say this is I had an argument with a mate earlier on today. We went for a pint. It's funny, most of my gaming related sort of arguments or questions or whatever happen at the pub. Read into that what you will. Yeah, and I was arguing with him that there are home ports that are superior to the arcade original, whether it's not necessarily graphics, but it's the gameplay and the experience of it just happened to be better than the arcade original. And his point, which I can kind of see, and it's a good point actually, he goes, well, the home port always tries to basically represent the arcade as accurately as it can, so by doing that alone it means it will never try to be superior to the arcade original, because its job as a home conversion is just to, replicate the arcade machine. I can kind of see that, and he did accept it on this one. Golden Axe on the Mega Drive, to me, and him as well, was superior to the arcade original. Graphically, it looks arcade perfect. It's not. I mean, people chuck the term arcade perfect around loads with the early Mega Drive games, especially Golden Axe, and it's not arcade perfect. It's damn close. But why it's better than the arcade was, you get the extra level, don't you? When you finally kill Death Adder, you go through the doors, behind him or whatever, and you get this extra level which wasn't there in the arcade. So I guess you can say that that is superior to the arcade original. And he said there's no other games like that. There are no other games that are superior to the arcade. Now I know it's a question of personal taste. What I'm going to say you might not agree with, but every now and then when there's just one game that's just an out-and-out argument settler. So I said to him, I can prove a point to you, a game that is superior to the arcade original, regardless of the hardware it's running on. And he went, yeah, whatever, go on then. And I just went, yeah. Chase H.Q. on the ZX Spectrum. Chase H.Q. on the ZX Spectrum, in my opinion, and not just mine, a lot of people agree with me, is superior to the arcade original. And it's not a question of graphics, it's just an out-and-out better gameplay experience. Now obviously Chase HQ was originally an arcade machine by Taito, released in 1988. It was capitalizing on the fact that stuff like Outrun was really sort of popular. That said though, isn't it technically a spiritual sequel to a game made by Taito again called Full Throttle or Top Speed? I don't know, but yeah, Outrun just caused a load of driving games, and Chase HQ was one of them. And technically though, controversial, it is graphically superior to Outrun in the arcade. It does a couple more sort of innovations and tricks with the way the road, sweeps, moves, bends, stuff like that, that Outrun just didn't have. But it was massive. I remember it being massive. I remember there were lineups at every arcade I ever saw it in, and yeah, basically you were in a 928. I thought the police in America only ever drove in parlours, but I guess TV has lied to me. Yeah, you're in a 928, a turbocharged 928, and you were part of a special division, Chase HQ, and you basically had to ram, you had to catch up with a criminal car, I'm pretty sure you all know this, and then ram it off the road by repeatedly hitting into it. Now I love the arcade original, but I don't think I even finished the first stage on it. It's one of those games that's absolutely properly balls hard, and I loved it, but I wouldn't say that it was an amazing gaming experience. Now it was ported to every home system. It's one of those unique games that came to both sort of Nintendo and Sega. Obviously it's on the NES, it's on the Game Boy, it's on the Master System, it's on the Game Gear. There's a PC Engine version, which I actually have, and I'm going to have to go on record here and say this is probably one of the weakest versions of the game. I think the Master System version is probably better in this, and that's a pants version. In fact, I never got why it's got, for such a sort of serious themed game, why it had such bollocks comedic cover art. I don't know, but yeah, all those home versions, on the consoles, I just thought were shit. They were just very bad, poor, representations of the arcade machine. Now it came out on the 8-bit computers, you know, and 16-bit came out on the Atari ST, the Amiga. I think the Amiga is probably the second best version of it on computer. The Commodore one apparently is pants. The Amstrad one's supposed to be quite good. But I can honestly say, and there are a lot of people who agree with me, that Chase H.Q on the Spectrum is a better experience than the arcade. It's an absolutely fantastic game. It got voted #1 in the Your Sinclair Top 100 Readers Games of all time. For the hardware it was running on, it's absolutely fantastic, but it's just a more forgiving and better experience than the arcade game that came before it. It's an absolutely fantastic game. It's easily one of my favourite ZX Spectrum games of all time. So I thought we could have a go at playing it, because it's funny, when I had this argument with my buddy, this is one of the games I didn't have running on my Spectrum emulator on my Wii, and I used it to win this argument, but I just went, I've got to get that and I've got to play it. So this is generally going to be the first time I've played Chase HQ on the Spectrum since I was a kid. So define keys, gear, accelerate, classic keys I always use on the Spectrum. Q up, A down, O left, P right, and then fast, or right, quit. You can be 2, pause, you can be 3, and turbo Z. Right. Please note control options cannot be remodified. Yeah, I can deal with that. Come on. Wait. Right. Fire. Press gear to play. That's odd. Classic screen. Absolutely classic. It's funny. Possibly they could have done the sort of digitized or synthesized speech, because they did it on Robocop. Obviously this is made by Ocean in 1989. Right. Oh man, does that bring back memories. See, you're looking at this thinking, you think this is better than the arcade? Are you out of your mind? This is definitely better than the arcade. Oh, Lamborghini. Another Lamborghini. And trucks. Another Lamborghini. Wow. I've been playing for how long? And I've just passed £300,000 worth of Exotica cards. Oh, come on. No, fuck. Now, I say slightly more forgiving than the arcade. Still has its moments. Alright, so let's crank open a turbo. I think this is probably hands down some of the smoothest, best looking graphics on the Spectrum when it comes to car racing. I mean, Outrun was pretty good on this, but it looked monkey balls. When it sort of, the screen filled up, and, there were a lot of other cars and stuff, like the frame rate went crap. That dipping effect's awesome. Oh, hang on. It's really awkward to shift in this game. The dipping effect in this, and the way it moves, is brilliant. Well, it doesn't have the colours, but it's certainly better than the Master System version. Oh, Lamborghini. Another Lamborghini. Wow, I didn't know this. Apparently all of America drives Lamborghinis in the 80s. Right, so when do I catch up with it? Oh, wow, I just rammed someone in mid-air. That's a first. Alright, if this is the 128K version, I will give it this. The sound is bollocks. Hey! Here we go. There he is. Let's ram this bad boy. There he is. Oh. Was it just me, or when that picture keeps flashing in the top right hand corner, it looks like Tubbs from Miami Vice? Oh, that was the wrong car. In my defence, oh shit, they did look exactly the same. See, already, yeah, this is surpassed the PC Engine version. That version is, the TurboGrafx is terrible. Oh. The shifting seems to be kind of, I don't know, a little bit redundant really. Oh, fuck it, I'll use a turbo. Seems to work. Wow, he just drew through a Lamborghini. God, he's hanging on, isn't he? He can certainly take damage. Look at that, he's smoking, but his damage meter is fuck all. can't believe that I'm playing a game on a keyboard and it's more playable than all the other versions. Come on, die, you prick. Oh, fuck it. Oh, I've got no, I haven't got any turbos left. Monkey balls. Will you die? Don't get me wrong, I am very impressed with this, but it's slightly sort of harder than I remember. Looks nice though. I think I already said that. Come on! See, there's tubs again. I just hit you with a pickup. How much time I got left? 91. See, that was the other thing that annoyed me about the home versions on this. The time limit, especially on the PC Engine, was so strict. Come on, die, you bastard. He's on fire. See, you couldn't do that these days, health and safety. Back then it was fuck the criminal. And rightly so. Oh, come on, one more, and it's game over, sunshine. Nice, pull over creep. Now I'm Judge Dredd. See? I've already achieved far more on this version than I ever did in the arcades on any other port of it. So there you go. Chase H.Q. running on the Spectrum. I think it's an absolutely fantastic game, and I do prefer it to the arcade original. So I was just wondering, what games do you think, what home ports are superior to the arcade games that inspired them? Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.